This is FYI on YourTV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham, and I have got Penny Krogan back in the studio with me.
It's nice to be back. We were on Zoom the last time.
The last couple of times, I believe, too. You're with Toastmasters Smiths Falls?
Smiths Falls Toastmasters.
All right, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What is Toastmasters?
Toastmasters is learning how to public speak. But you don't do it just for public speaking. I did it for self-confidence. So it's many different aspects. People say, I don't want to do public speaking. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not what it's all about. It is self-confidence, learning how to conduct yourself. And I own a small business, so it really helps with that, speaking one-on-one to people.
So it's not always talking in front of a huge audience. It could be staff meetings. I remember you doing, you've been with Toastmasters for a long time, but you did a bit of your Toastmasters because you wanted to speak at, I think it was your son's wedding?
I had to do that, yes. And I've emceed 2 weddings since then. And before Toastmasters, that would never have happened, ever.
So why did you take it? Why did you join Toastmasters?
Well, I was going to a chiropractor, and he said, Penny, you should come to Toastmasters. And I thought, it just sounds like a guy's club, Toastmasters, but I will go. So I showed up that one evening, and they were having an open house. So the gentleman was speaking on what Toastmasters can do for you. That Sunday, I got up to sing at church, and my music did not start, and I stood there feeling so stupid up there. It was crazy. It was probably 1 minute, but it felt like 10. So I said, this is not going to happen ever again. And I joined Toastmasters, and since then, you can do whatever. If the mic doesn't work, if the music doesn't start, I can just ad-lib in there. So.
And that would always surprise me as well, too, when you told me you were taking Toastmasters, because you always, even when you were small and you were a young child, you got up and sang in front of a lot of people.
But when you sing in front of people, you practice. So Toastmasters is definitely practicing speaking in front of people.
Okay.
So you're more comfortable. And what better place to do it than a warm, nurturing club? We're there to help.
Okay, so let's talk about, you're at a Toastmasters meeting. What happens?
So usually there's a chair of the meeting. So you can do that when you're at work. Sometimes you have to chair meetings. So that's good practice for that. Then there's somebody that usually does a toast or joke. Then there's a word of the day. So we try and bring in a new word every week to help with our vocabulary. There is a grammarian that counts your ahs and ums. That is one thing that we have to get away from instead of saying, that's just your brain catching up. So take a pause, deep breath, and then carry on. Sometimes we have 2 speakers, 1 to 2 speakers, and we're usually working through our book. Well, not books anymore, it's all online now, so we're working through Pathways, it's called. Then we have an evaluator for that speech. So it's great if you're a boss and you have to call somebody in to evaluate how they're working on their job. It kind of teaches you how to do it properly. A sandwich method. Give them a glow point, a grow point, and then another glow point at the end. So that employee doesn't quit or give up on you right away.
So it's respectful.
It is.
It's very respectful.
Yes. And then we have a small little break. Then we go into table topics, which is just like being on an interview with Kathy. She asks you a question, you got to try and talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. So that helps with our speaking off the cuff. Then we also have a quiz master because we're supposed to be listening when people are speaking to us. So they'll ask, maybe you said your dog's name during your speech or something. What was the dog's name? So it's just keeping us on cue to actually listen to what people are saying to us.
So when you go to a meeting, do you choose a meeting before who's going to speak at the next one?
Yes.
How does that work?
You can sign up for the roles earlier. Or if you just show up, sometimes you get voluntold that you're going to do a job. We also have a timer because timing is important. If it's an hour-and-a-half meeting, it is an hour-and-a-half meeting. If you're supposed to speak 5 to 7 minutes, the little cue cards are flashed at you because you've been at a wedding before and the person gets up to say a speech and they never get down. They just keep talking and talking. So it's limiting your time.
All right. So some planning has got to be involved. I'm thinking you go away with some homework because
a little bit. If you're doing a speech, you've got to work on it and practice it. So it's good.
Especially the timing part of it too.
Yes.
Either, you know, you're very nervous and you think, okay, I got 5 to 7 minutes and only 2 minutes has gone by, but in your head you're thinking, this is an eternity. It's like, you know, waiting for the music to start sort of thing too.
Totally.
Or you just go on.
When you get in front of people, you tend to speak faster, so you've got to calm yourself down. But it's really good if you have a presentation at work to do. You can come to Toastmasters and do it, and then we can give you feedback on the flow of it, or if you mess up on a few words, maybe change it around a little bit so it flows nicer.
Okay. Now, how long have you been with Toastmasters?
11 years.
11 years. And you are the Vice President of Membership.
I am this year.
Okay. So what does that entail?
That means if you want to join, you just call me.
Okay. Okay. And you have an open house coming up so people can come and have a look.
We do on November 30th. So we have a guest speaker, Lee Street. She is in the North Grenville Club. So she is actually a DTM, which is a Distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest level that you can get. She's worked through all the different pathways to accomplish this. So she will be our guest speaker that night, and we will continue on as a normal meeting so that guests can actually see how a meeting is run.
Okay, so when you say DTM, is there competitions to get to that point, or?
A DTM, they have to go through all the steps. So at the end of all the steps, you actually have to start a club, and you have to follow through for that club for a year.
Okay, okay. So when you go to a meeting, what's your favorite part? Like when you go, what role do you like the best?
I like being the chair.
Okay.
The chair is the easiest. It's like welcoming people into your home. So you're just introducing the next person and the next person. And
okay, okay. So how many people are members now?
we have 12 members right now.
Excellent.
But it's usually about 8 people that show up on a given night.
And it changed during COVID.
Big time. We went into little square boxes on our laptops, and
That's got to be a lot different than being in person.
it was, because usually in person you hand off the lectern with a handshake, you welcome them up, where you just kind of sat there. So there's a few things that we kind of laxed off on. And when you do your toast or joke, it's please stand, please raise your glass, and you didn't have to do that when we were in our little cubicles on the squares.
I mean, technology kept us through, kept us going, so you were able to keep doing things
It
like this.
did.
But I bet you being Toastmasters is better in person.
But you're a lot more relaxed at home. So the butterflies weren't there because you were just in your room talking to yourself, so you
Yeah.
could pretend. So
Yeah, yeah, you can be petting the dog or the cat trying to calm you down beside you. Or
we had a few cats walking across the screens. You know, it was-
I love that when we were doing our Zooms here on FYI. I loved when the children walked in the room, or the cat was walking by, or the dog started barking, or doorbell
Yes.
rang, that sort of thing.
But it's much different in person, so
Yes.
it helps with your butterfly issues.
That's right, that's right, that's right. So November 30th, you have an open house. Let's talk about that. What would you like?
I would like people just to show up and see what our new facility looks like. Because
Yes.
we have moved from Healy Glass, and we're over in the old Pepsi plant. That's at the Adult Learning Center, so you go in that side door and up the stairs, and we're in the big boardroom up there. It's beautiful.
Right on Abbott Street.
Yes.
I love that you say the old Pepsi plant, because you know, us lifers, you and I both have been in Smiths Falls our entire life. I love landmarks.
That's right.
That's right, that's right. So the old Pepsi plant, the old Pepsi plant. So that's where people will just show up. Do they register? How do they do that?
They can call me if they want for directions, or we can just show up. We're going to open up the doors at 6:30, and the meeting starts at 7 o'clock right on the dot.
And you have a great Facebook page. People can learn more about
Facebook, website page also.
to learn more about Toastmasters.
Yes.
For sure, for sure. We have a mutual friend, Dan Bennett.
We do.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. He's with Toastmasters in North Grenville.
Both places. He's dual membership.
Oh, he does. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yes, he's our president of the board at Community Living North Grenville. So wonderful people the Bennetts are too. So,
He is.
oh, this is great. This is great. So November 30th. What time?
6:30 open,
6:30 open.
7:30 start.
Okay. And how long are the meetings? You said an hour and
An
a half.
hour and a half.
Okay. And
But
they're-
there will be refreshments at this one because it's kind of special. It's an open house.
Okay, okay. And generally, you get a lot of people out at your open houses?
We do. We invite different clubs too, so they can see where we meet now, because everybody has different meeting rooms. So
Excellent.
this is a nice one.
Excellent. So this is in the old Pepsi plant
Yes.
on Abbott Street. Well, thank you very much
On
for
Abbott.
coming in and telling us more about Toastmasters. You've got an open house November 30th, 6:30 at the old Pepsi plant on Abbott Street. And
Yes.
you're the vice president of membership, so if anybody wants to become a member or learn more,
That's right. It's only $158 a year, or we can split that in half too. So anybody can show up for a couple meetings for free and see if they like it, whether it's a match for them.
Oh, excellent. So you can just
Yes.
give it a try too.
You can.
Awesome. Oh, this is wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming. It's like an annual thing. We're coming in,
It
coming here
is.
and talking to us at FYI about Toastmasters.